remember going to a Hollywood party early in my career. I entered the stunning mansion from the back patio door and quickly scurried into the house. Before my eyes, there were famous actors and actresses everywhere, having cocktails, dancing, and chatting with one another. After a few minutes of hiding behind the china cabinet, someone saw me and started yelling, "Get her out of here!" I, of course, was stunned and asked for a martini, but they called the police instead. That was my first taste of Hollywood, sitting in the back seat of a police car with a drunk who threw up on my shoes. That party must have been in 1947, because it was shortly after that I got an agent, Raincoat Eddie. He operated on the corner of Hollywood and Vine next to the payphone. Well, right after I signed with him, he immediately said I needed to change my name. You see, I was born in 1927 as Ima Dickton Lichtenstein, and he said that no actor or actress should have 18 letters in their last name. So, we sat down and thought about what my name should be. Well, I suggested that we keep Ima, my first name, and shorten my last name to the first 4 letters. But Eddie said no, that would make me Ima Dick, and no studio would ever go for that. So, after a few more moments of consideration, Eddie said Lona Chaney, because I reminded him so much of Lon Chaney, the actor who played Phantom of the Opera. Well, several months after that, I got my first screen test with Warner Brothers. I'll never forget how excited I was. I can still feel the adrenaline pumping through my body as I stood up in front of the casting director and said my first line. And he stood up and said, "Hell no!"
So, when did you get your first speaking role?
That was in 1948. I did a small comedy by RKO Pictures called The Boy with Green Hair. Of course, my scenes were cut from the movie because they said that I kept repeating everyone's lines. But shortly after that, I made another film called It Happened by the Park Bench.
I have never heard of that one. Can you tell me a little more about that movie?
Yes, I played Martha Baxter, the timid but pathologically lying sister of the mayor of Mapleville, Spurgeon Baxter, played by the incomparable Willie Hank.
Never heard of him.
Oh. Well, he was the voice of Corny the Clown for the radio station KBDV's Saturday morning program, The Little Pooters Hour. I had a supporting role to Willie. Spurgeon, you know that I saw Mrs. Rose Mercer next to the park bench eating a ham sandwich with extra mayonnaise.
Martha, you couldn't have seen Rose eating that sandwich. She doesn't like mayonnaise.
Cut! Lana, don't say Willie's lines with him.
Okay.
Action!
Spurgeon, you know that I saw Mrs. Rose Mercer next to the park bench eating a ham sandwich with extra mayonnaise.
Martha, you couldn't have seen Rose eating that sandwich. She doesn't like mayonnaise.
Cut!
Now, Lana. Lana? Lana!
Oh, yes. It took me a while to quit repeating everyone's lines, but I did have the help from my agent. Of course, I picked up another bad habit. Looking at the camera.
Lana may have had her faults, but she was one ballsy dame. She may have stunk up the room with her acting, but she never gave up.
Why are you being interviewed in the shadows and your voice is being altered?
Let's just say, I owe some people some money. Namely my clients. And after 50-something years, they're still looking for me. Now, what about that lunch you said you'd buy me?
What? I have a curler in my hair. Let me see. Oh, there it is. Goodness gracious. Can't go on camera with a curler in my hair now, can I? Oh, goodness. All right. Now, what was that? Oh, yes. Monotone Pictures, Destiny Wants to Leave. I discovered that I had a few bad habits and I needed to break.
What was the name of the movie?
Destiny Wants to Leave.
Nope. Don't know that one either.
Oh. All right. Oh, Destiny. I've already told you I want to leave. But Destiny, do you really want to leave?
Cut!
I just loved working with Penny Andrews, the actress who played Destiny. She was just so much fun to work with. And she was always so polite to remind me not to look at the camera.
Lana was a very sweet lady, perhaps a bit dotty, but she always knew her lines and everyone else's too. Of course, there were always rumors circling around the set about Lana. You know. I do remember that Lana loved to knit socks, so all the cast and crew all got a pair of socks from Lana. I still have mine.
I was told if I didn't stop looking at the camera that I would never work in Hollywood again. So I started spending hours with Raincoat Eddie, trying to learn how to break my habit. Finally, after months of positive self-talking and doing Eddie's weekly collection for his paper route, I could just act. At that time, Eddie had to move his office to the Ross grocery store parking lot in Burbank, and I met my husband of 50 years, Alan Smithy. And that is when I started doing my best work.
I did films such as Too Much Rosemary, Pink Friday, Five is a Crowd, Yank Ahoy, and my all-time personal favorite, starring Hal Hardy as Pete Snyder and Linda Littman as Paula Snyder in Don't Bother to Call.
What? Don't tell me you've never heard of that one either.
Nope.
I was hoping you would still be here.
But of course, darling, you don't need to call. Maid Sarah.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you get Mr. Snyder and myself some tea?
Yes, ma'am. I got my best review for that movie. Lona Chaney, who promises to overact and underwhelm you in every scene. I'm pretty proud of this review. After I made Don't Bother to Call, I started to get more attention from the press. And most importantly, from Confidential magazine. Now, I know they were a gossip magazine full of scandalous stories, mainly sex. But once I got on their cover, I started to get noticed.
My face was on the cover alongside with Tab Hunter, Marilyn Monroe, Lawrence Welk, and Jimmy Stewart, and some big fellow named Winston Churchill. And everybody in Hollywood began to know who Lona Chaney was.
Who are we talking about again?
Lona Chaney.
Who?
Lona Chaney. She was in Yank Ahoy with you?
No, I don't remember her. Oh. No.
You were once on Broadway. Can you tell me a little bit about that experience?
Yes, Broadway. I was thrilled to be asked to be part of a new Broadway play called Dandy of a Day. You see, the actress who was playing the lead, Dorothy Martin, broke her leg just 5 days before opening, and they needed an actress who could learn her part in less than a week. Well, someone suggested me because I was so good at learning lines. And before I knew it, I was on a plane to New York to star in a Broadway play. I can still remember opening night.
Oh, sure, I remember opening night of Dandy of the Day. The only show in the history of Broadway to close during intermission. Lana kept yelling, "Cut!" every time she'd say her lines in a way that she didn't like. Half the audience walked out within the first 30 minutes of the show. Even the stage manager left halfway through Act 1 to get a hot dog. Didn't come back until, 5 minutes before intermission. By the time intermission did come around, there were only 2 people left in the theater. My mother and the director. And they were both asleep.
Are you getting my Christmas tree all right? I love Christmas.
You know, since we started this interview, I've wanted to talk about the elephant in the room.
Oh, I knew you would ask about that. I got this from a friend who was traveling abroad. She got it in Taiwan.
I don't mean that elephant. I mean the rumors that you are gay. It must have been hard to be a gay actress back in the 40s and 50s.
Well, I am gay. I'm happy and content, and I take an all right with the world attitude. And I don't think it was any harder to be gay in the 40s and 50s as it is today.
What I mean is you prefer women to men.
Well, I like women, and I like men, and I love animals, all of them. I love everyone and everybody. So, to answer your question, yes, I'm gay. And I was happily married for almost 50 years to my husband, Alan Smithy. Alan was gay too. We loved to laugh together and have fun together. Well, we were the gayest couple that we knew.
What do you do now that you are not acting?
Well, let's see. I enjoy my plants. They keep me active. I enjoy going to see them every single day. These are my plants. I love my plants. This is Tom and Frederick's the corn plant. Susan, Nancy, and Tanya. Oh, and this is Jose. He's a coffee plant. And, down there was Paul. He passed last week. Paul is dead.
What has been your greatest moment or achievement in Hollywood?
Oh, that one's an easy one. In 1965, the Oscars, the Oscar Awards ceremony, Santa Monica Boulevard, the Civic Center, Bob Hope hosting. The Academy honored me in their memoriam tribute. Well, you can imagine how shocked and surprised I was seeing my face on the large screen and hearing my name read aloud. Everyone else seemed to be shocked as well. I was sitting on the back row of the balcony and the man next to me leaned over to me and said, "Who in the hell is Lona Chaney? Never heard of her." Some people thought that the Academy was trying to kill off my career by giving me that award, but by 1965, my career barely had a pulse, so I was still mighty proud and happy that I was honored by the Academy Awards, even if they did think I was dead. My romance doesn't need a blue lagoon standing by, no month of May, no twinkling stars.
What was your lowest point during your Hollywood career?
In 1954, I was one of the first celebrities to join the Church of Scientology. By 1955, I was quietly asked to leave the church because my celebrity status was not what they wanted to promote. L. Ron Hubbard personally escorted me out of the Celebrity Center. I've since become Jehovah's Witness.
Lona Chaney, a second-rate B- movie actress who lived her dream out during the 1940s and 50s. She failed where others succeeded. But she succeeded in being one of the worst actresses ever to be on the Hollywood screen. And she is damn proud of that accomplishment.
I've had a wonderful life. It hasn't always been easy. Things have never been handed to me. Of course, it took a lot of time for my career to get off the ground. In fact, many say it never really got off the ground, or it crashed and burned as it was trying to take off. But one thing is for certain. I was able to do what I came to Hollywood to do, and that was to be in the movies. And that makes me very proud.
Excuse me.
Oh, are you done for today? Would you like some tea or some cheese?
No, thank you, but we're done.
Oh.
Seriously. But thank you for your time.